Hello everyone, welcome back to the Extreme Wise Predictions channel, and in this video I'm going to give you some of my November 2025 psychic prediction and also answer viewers questions. That is Answer Monday. If you are new to the channel, kindly like, subscribe, and also don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you can get notified when I post similar videos like this. If you want your questions to be answered, kindly drop them in the comment section of this video and your question may be featured in our next Answer Monday video. Don't forget to hype the video so that YouTube can recommend it to people who like contents like this. Let's get into the video. So before I even start with Answer Monday and answering viewers' question, I want to give some November 2025 psychic predictions before we begin, and some of the things that are in the news. So with Rachel Reeves, I know she has been hit with kind of rental staff policy violation and stuff in the news currently, and I'm seeing that there's going to be a lot of discovery about her in the news as well. There's things that are going to be digged through and things are going to come to the surface. So the reason why this is actually going to be happening is because she's going to be denying knowing, policies around this rental stuff and the allegations that have been said before her. She's going to be saying that I don't know anything about this. And I think this has already hit the news already. Based on that, they are going to dig deeper into the things that she's been doing, right? And a lot of things are going to be coming up, right? Rental fraud and some kind of hidden things that I can't say on social media, but it's going to be coming out. So these things are going to be picked up in the media based on the fact that she's denying knowing that this has to be done or this has to be in place for this rental stuff to be occurring and stuff like that. And eventually she's going to actually be resigning. She's going to be stepping down for the safety of dignity and then sanity and stuff like that. She's going to actually be stepping down, and this is going to actually be affecting Keir Starmer as well. And I have told you guys that Keir Starmer is going to be actually stepping down and stuff like that. And that is going to happen. And then that Keir Starmer, I don't want to say this on social media, but Keir Starmer also been working hard in terms of, our predictions and stuff. And then what is in his future, he's working very hard against those things and things like that. So with this 2025 season that we are, when I look at the Black Friday events, there's going to be less people celebrating Black Friday. And I'm seeing that sales are going to be historically very, very low. There's going to be very low sales in Black Friday. And I'm seeing that Thanksgiving dinner will cost a record high. For years, for this year, is going to be costing a record high. That's what I actually see happening. Whilst I'm talking about, I'm hearing a celebrity name is called Taylor Swift. I'm seeing that there's going to be like a big news about it. And I'm seeing, kind of her in a uniform or something like that. That's what I was seeing coming. I'm seeing that many programs that has been in place for the society is going to be fading away. Many governmental programs in the society, I'm seeing those kind of fading away. That's what I was seeing. Whilst I mentioned Taylor Swift, I'm looking at, I think the chief executive, kind of staff is kind of, I'm seeing that there's anger and there's an unrest or something like that. I'm seeing that happening. I'm seeing, his wife also in the news. I'm seeing that happening, and I'm not seeing that for maybe something positive. It looks like something negative that was happening also. Whilst I'm picking up on that, I'm seeing there's going to be a new AI. I don't know. You guys should, kind of, watch out for this. That there's going to be. I'm seeing something like AI will evolve, and it's like it's rather telling you, I don't know how to explain it, but AI, it looks like I'm looking at it in this way that I'm telling AI, I need information about this or this, or maybe can you work this equation or work for me or something like, and AI is rejecting our input. It's like AI is rather rejecting our input, and it is actually telling us what it can do. It's like you're asking your dad for something and your dad is telling you what it can do. I'm seeing something like that. I'm unable to explain because I'm receiving a live. I'm unable to explain it well, but that is what I'm actually seeing happening with in terms of AI. That's what I'm seeing happening. And it is rather like it won't be able to do what you are telling it to do, but it is going to actually be doing something else. That's what I'm seeing happening. Before that, let us move on to answer some of the viewers' questions, and let us see what they have for us. So the first question I have here is for France, can you tell a little bit more about the evolution of the protests against Macron in the coming months? Will there also be strikes, street fights with police with the yellow vest moment? Will the army be called into the streets like in the US? You also recommended, so let me answer that part in terms of the protests in for Macron and stuff like that. No, I don't see the military, being called into the streets like what is happening in the U.S. I don't see that happening, but rather I see like special forces, and this is going to be way, 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 way deep into their protests. I see like first special forces rather coming in the last minute or something like that. That is what I actually see happening in that regard. So I'm not seeing that military will be called into the streets. The protest is going to be very intensive. They are going to protest until Emmanuel Macron actually steps down. That's what I predicted about. So that is still what I'm seeing happening. They are going to be protesting until Emmanuel Macron literally actually steps down. That's how the protest is going to be. But the intensity of the protest, for them to call the military in, I don't think military basically will be, I think the police will be able to handle it. But if it is multiple places at the same time, that is when special forces will be called in to actually help. But I don't see military actually stepping in like in the US. I don't see that happening. Let's go to your second part of your question. It says that you also recommended keeping your man's card. Is that advice mainly for men considering to climb the social ladder by losing it, or do you hold that conviction for all men? So here's a case that it's for all men. That's how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it as for every man. Giving out your dignity for a position or something like that, or to be maybe for position, for power, for being famous, or anything at all. Giving that dignity out something that doesn't last forever. Giving that dignity out. I don't think any man. I think it's for all men. If you are not into that, why give it out? That's not a question. For something that will just last for a few years or something like that. So I don't see giving that out as an option for you to actually do. Let us move on to the next question. Next question says that what's wrong with Trump's health wise? Also, do you see them building his bathroom, or what will happen with this space at the White House? So, for Trump's help, I already had a prediction that they are going to give him something. It's like he's going to be contaminated. I made this prediction way back. If you look at my other videos, I said he's going to be contaminated. So I see that they have contaminated him. That is what he's dealing with, and people are seeing it wrongly, and stuff like that. But everybody has the way they pick up their energy. In terms of that, what I see happening is that he's actually recovering from what he has been contaminated. That is why, sometimes when you see him off, he's not just like he's sick or something like that. He's just, kind of on medication, or spending time alone and refreshing the mind, because what he has been contaminated with, a lot of mind thinking worries that part of what he's dealing with. So that is what I see actually he doing in that regards. And I think that you have a second question in terms of the bathroom. Yes. So with the bathroom thing, I see that they are already building it. I think that funds has already been raised for that, and I think that it is going to be built. That's what I see happening. That it's the project is already underway and it is actually happening, and I see them actually building that thing for him in the White House. I see that happening. I think that they have started demolition already for something, funds being raised already, and initiatives of moving forward with this. Despite all the controversies surrounding it, I see this actually happening as well. Let us move on to the next question. So, next question says that there's talks in Germany that Russia will attack Germany. Do you see that happening in the future? So, short answer is going to be yes. I see this happening since Germany is part of NATO. And I did this prediction before that Russia is going to be attacking, even before this discussions was going on, that Russia is going to be attacking NATO members. This includes France, Germany, and those countries. So I see that happening because Russia will be coming against NATO. So most people in the NATO will be actually be affected. So if your country is part of NATO, like I said, it's going to be something is going to be affected. But I'm not going to give timeline right now, but I see that actually happening in the interim. That's Let's move on to the next question. The next question says, do you see Canada and the US coming to an agreement? If so, when? So, okay, for when, I see it in 2026. I see that happening in 2026. So yes, Canada and US are going to come to an agreement, especially around maybe trade and maybe some government sectors and stuff like that. I see that happening, and I see that it's going to be in 2026. If everything that I'm seeing right now is going to be accurate and happen the same way I'm going to be seeing it, then talks of that or initiatives of that sort is going to be happening in 2020, ending of 2025. But in 2026, I definitely see them having an agreement in the interim. So if everything works well, there's going to be roadmap in late 2025, and then into 2026, that deal is going to be actually happening. Let's move on to the next question. Next question says, do you see Medicaid being taken away from people in November in the US? So November, I don't think so. So what is actually happening is not like Medicaid will be taken away from people. I don't see that taken away from people. But what I'm seeing is that people will not be approved for Medicaid. It's like I'm seeing people, even if you are taking like unemployment checks, you're still not going to be qualified for Medicaid. I don't know if they revamped the policy or whatever it is, but that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that it's like the financial threshold is too little. Most people are not being approved for Medicaid. That's what I actually see happening. I don't know how that is working, but that's what I'm seeing, that a lot of people will not be approved for Medicaid. So you see that there's a lot of layoff that is going on. So a lot of people will be applying for Medicaid. Some people may have unemployment checks already coming in. And here's a case that I don't see anybody with unemployment checks actually getting approved for Medicaid. I don't know if they work around the system or something like that. But if you want to apply for Medicaid, I think you need to apply before even receiving unemployment. So I don't know how that will work. So that's what I actually picking up in terms of that. So it's not people will be stripped off of Medicaid, but just that people will not be approved like the way we think they should be approved. Let's move on to the next question. Next question says that the Germany people have been held in a state of guilt and atonement for years due to their history. This makes it difficult for subsequent generations to be proud of their German heritage. Will this ever end? And will the German people regain their strength and be able to live their wonderful culture again? Will Germany ever again have a government that supports its people instead of working against them, as it does now? And do you foresee Germany fragmenting into parts in the future, as it did before in the fall of Berlin Wall in 1989? I hope my point is clear. Yeah. So point is very kind of clear. Will this ever end? I know I don't see that ending now. Um, wherever Germany, see themselves now, is that is how it's going to actually be for centuries. The way Germany is going to be seeing themselves now for centuries, that is what I actually see happening. That they are not going to come out of anything. They are not going to be able. When you talk about their heritage, is it like the colonizing part of the way they rule the world? I don't see that happening at all. I don't see Germany taking back that mantle at all. I don't see that happening at all. Um, and then I heard that you said some part about, somebody coming to rule for the people or something like that. I don't think that, the government in power doesn't even, they don't really work for the people. They actually work for their organization. So most of the presidents are actually being elected by some organization that I don't want to talk about. There are organizations that rule the world. We all know this, people already, but I don't want to mention any names on my platform. So that is how it's happen. So certain things I can't say on air, so I'll leave it there. For the German fragmenting into part, I don't see that happening. They will always have internal conflict, but I don't see, them actually divided into different countries or something within or different parts within. But I see that, every country will have internal conflict happening in any country that there is disagreement. So that is what I actually see happening, but I don't see them dividing into countries. And also, that is my take on that. I don't know if I answered all your questions, but that's what I'm picking up in terms of that. For their culture, culture is, it depends on the extent of the culture, but I don't see any of, that happening. The way Germany is actually living now is how they are going to be living, because there are people in power that are powerful now than anything else. And if that Germany has to rise up, that means it has to strip everybody with their weapons and stuff like that. And that cannot happen. And based on that, it I don't see them, regaining that power that we know them for, and for Germany as such. Let's go to the last question. Last question says, do you see Sadiq Kane being removed as London mayor this year or next year? So I don't see Sadiq Khan being removed as mayor. I don't see them succeeding in whatever they throw at him. I don't see that actually happening. Maybe unless something comes down from heaven or something like that for them to be able to remove him as mayor. But I don't, for right now, I don't see that happening. I'm looking into it. I'm not still seeing anything happening, for him being removed or anything like that. In the interim, I don't see that happening at all. So that is what I see, and I don't see it happening even now and then 2026. I don't see that happening at the moment. Um, if you have made it this far, thank you guys for watching. Today was Answer Monday, and I threw a little bit of November 2025 psychic prediction. If you like this content, kindly like, subscribe, and also don't forget to turn on your notification bell. Recommend this video to your family and friends that likes videos like this. Thank you guys for watching.